Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Winter Adams, IFBB Wellness Pro and Olympian. So today's video is going to be a bit of a different one. We are in December now, 2024. So basically that means pretty much the season is over. So I'm in the peak of my off season and I'm waiting for the calendar to be released so that I can pick a show and go back on prep. Currently standing at 71 kg, which is about 150 pounds, I think, for all my non-metric users. This is about the heaviest I'll get. I actually unintentionally get to this weight. It's kind of my winter season, kind of just relaxing a little bit weight, which is I'm quite comfortable with. But going forwards, I'll be maintaining around this weight and then going into prep. Like I say, as soon as the calendar's out, as soon as we pick a show. No idea where we're going to do shows yet. You know, my bread and butter is the UK, but maybe next year I'll be looking at venturing abroad. I want to do some shows maybe in the United States. Speaking of which, tomorrow I am going to Texas for the NPC Nationals, and I will be watching over two of my beautiful girls who are going into the pro qualifier, which is the natural show in Dallas, in Irving. Sorry, I'll be staying in Dallas. So I'm going to be vlogging that for you guys and getting as much content as I can and showing you guys kind of how I, as a coach, not only as an athlete, but as a coach, travel abroad, how I stay on track with things, how I keep my girls on track, and how we do the meet and greet and the check-ins and everything. So I'm really, really excited to show you guys all of that. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I standing here with these bejazzled heels today? So I'm going to be going through some posing. So I am also a posing coach. I, in the past, have done my own posing for stage, and I have done a lot of my wellness girls posing because I'm very much a advocate of you have to teach posing that suits your physique, okay? Whether you're a girl with, let's say, a bigger quad sweep, wider hips, narrower hips, longer femurs, a longer torso, narrower shoulders, wider shoulders, smaller waist, wider waist, your posing is going to have to be tailored to you. Today I'm going to go through a warm-up for posing. So yes, we do warm up for posing, not only for training, and that's basically going to include some mobility work. So that's going to be common pitfalls you see in posing, which is limitations in thoracic mobility, which is your upper kind of back area mobility, the lumbar mobility, so your lower back here, hip flexors, and shoulder mobility. So reason I've mentioned those four is because I'll put my heels on, I'll go through the poses with you. I'm just getting ahead of myself right now. Once I've got these on, I will go through each mandatory pose and explain the reasons for the mobility exercises. But first, let's go through some of the exercises. These are my absolute essentials for pre-posing routine. So you've got a lacrosse ball here. Now this is my nemesis and also my best friend because it's so painful when you put it into tight areas. I'll show you in a minute where I massage, but you basically push it into the muscle, lean into it against the wall, and it relieves that tight muscle and allows you to then stretch. Think of your body, like your muscles, as like butter. If they're like cold hard butter in the fridge, then you try and put a knife in it, get stuck. If you've kind of molded that butter already, put some warmth in it, put a bit of pressure on it, then that butter is going to come off nicely and it's going to be a lot more malleable. So that's kind of, maybe not the best analogy, but that's kind of how I think about the muscles when warming up, when stretching them. So the band is used just to kind of loosen everything up and open me up. So I start with the band first. This helps me get warm and also allows me to just open things up. So my first warm-up exercise I'll show you guys is the shoulder openers. So you're going to hold the band, not too wide and not too narrow. You want good resistance on the band. This has quite a good amount of tension. I hold it just wider than shoulder width and I pull the tension here, and I can feel where the tension is kind of at its highest, and then I bring it up. And at this point, I can feel there's a lot of tension, a lot of resistance in my shoulders. So I'm going to bend my elbows and bring the band behind me. And now I'm getting this full stretch in my anterior delt, so the front of my shoulders, and my pecs. So you're probably thinking, you don't even train chest, why would you have tight pecs? It's more from just sitting down at a desk all day. Even if you don't train a muscle, it can still be tight. And then from here, I'm gonna bring it back up slowly. And then I'm gonna go a little bit wider. And keeping my arms straight now, I'm just gonna go all the way back. And back up again, keeping the arms straight. And then as that gets easier, you're gonna go a little bit narrower. Gonna go up, keep the arms straight, bend. It does hurt quite a bit, but you don't want it to be like a 7 out of 10 on the pain scale, maybe like a 4 out of 10. You want it to be uncomfortable, not painful. A little bit wider, and all the way back. I feel the most stiffness here, so I'm just gonna hold it here for a bit. Breathe through it, come down. And back up, breathe through it. And then we're just gonna do that about 10 more times. What I like to do, I have a tight shoulder on my right side, so I kind of just pull it down, get more of a stretch. I guess you can kind of call this like dynamic stretching. You also get a little bit of a lat stretch when you do it like this. Okay, so that's the shoulders warmed up, feeling nice and loose. We're now going to go into a shoulder stretch. So any wall, pop your arm, elbow flat against the wall, bring that foot forward and push against the wall. Now I can really feel that stretch in my front shoulder. So reason for this stretch is mainly for the side pose, because when you see later on in the video, when I hit my side pose, my torso and my hips are pretty much at a right angle to each other. Okay, so my hips will be side on and my torso will be front on, and to be able to achieve that, you have to have looseness in the chest and in the lats. Now we're going to do the other shoulder. Really breathing through it. That instantly feels better. And then we're going to do the lats. I just find any surface that is kind of like elbow level. So then I get my elbow on it and I stretch that lat. Now I can feel that stretch all down here. Again, this is for the side pose, because when you hit that side pose, you will feel some resistance in your lats, and that's your thoracic mobility. Other one. You know, for someone who doesn't train upper body, I have a really tight and tense upper body. Okay, just to go over the back muscles that I can't really stretch. Just get a foam roller, pop it down. I'm just gonna go over my back. My back clicks so much when I do this. Oh. I'm not gonna lie, it feels so good. Sometimes I just lay here and I forget what I was here to do. Oh. And while you're here, you might as well just do the lower back, a little bit of rolling on the lumbar. Before we finish the upper part of the body, I'm going to show you how I use the lacrosse ball. The lacrosse ball isn't necessary, but in some cases, if you have one side that's a lot tighter than the other, which you'll commonly see, In the side pose, for example, so bikini and wellness girls especially will understand this. When you hit your side pose, you usually have one pose that feels a lot more natural and looks a lot better than the other. Usually the one that is worse is because of this thoracic mobility and tightness. So for me, that's my right side, and my right side pose is the one that looks worse. So I'm going to show you how I help to improve that using this lacrosse ball only on one side. Get the lacrosse ball and I place it just below my armpit and into the muscle. So that's like still my lats. Put it on the wall here. Bring my arm down, and then I can feel how tender that is. It's like almost where my lat inserts into the humerus, which is the bone in your upper arm. And I just roll it around and I get these areas in my upper back that feel really tight because they're what are limiting me from getting into that side pose. And I kind of just breathe through it and stretch. And I'll show you guys what I mean when I say my right side is a lot stiffer. I'll show you the good side first. Sorry, that was my bad side. That was my bad side. And this is my better side. So my better side, my left pec is a lot looser, so I can bring the arm back. My right side is so tight. You can see I can't even bring my arm back properly. And that's because super tight over here and then tight as well in my lat. So finally, I'm gonna get the ball and I'm just gonna massage my shoulder. And it's really tender. I actually get sports massages like at least once a month, and I get really deep tissue massage. But my body, honestly, from my powerlifting days, it's never been the same. It's just so stiff. I think because with powerlifting, you put so much tension on the muscle and you gain muscle quite quickly. And I don't know about quality of muscle, but I suppose when you're gaining muscle from strength versus hypertrophy, maybe it's a bit different, the type of fibers that you gain. Don't quote me on that. That's just a guess. I don't actually know. Okay, so that's my upper body done. I'm feeling so much looser, so much better. Now I'm going to move on to the lower part of the body, which is a lot more painful. It's a lot tighter. Obviously, I'm wellness. I train legs 3 times a week, sometimes 4. So glutes are really tight. Hip flexors are tight. My TFL is tight. My glute medius is tight. My quads are tight. My rec fem is tight. My hamstrings, anyways. I'm just tight, okay? Foam roll, my quads, and my glutes. So left quad is actually not that tight compared to my right. So I just go over my left one quickly. Like that is not causing me much pain at all. And then we go to the right one and it feels like someone lit a fire in my legs. I focus on like the super tender spots. Although it's a massage in the quad, it's massaging one of the longest hip flexors we have, which is the rectus femoris. That goes from the knee to the hip. And that is a common cause of tightness in that area, and also causes some dysfunction with the lower back. So I have a lot of tightness in that hip region. So I just like to make sure I get everything seen to. Next is the glute. I'm gonna bring the heel up here and just focus that. We'll do the other side. Honestly, I really don't feel it much with this, so I just move on straight to the lacrosse ball. If you're new to foam rolling, definitely start with a soft foam roller and then move your way up to the lacrosse ball. Otherwise, it's just going to feel like hell. Pop it here. Place it under my glute. I'm going to go over the whole glute first. Then we're going to stretch that glute and get in there a bit deeper. And that's where it starts to hurt. And then I'm going to go over my glute medius. Ooh. Looks like a bitch. And my back is clicking. I wish the mic would translate how many clicks are happening right now. Everything's clicking. And then I'm gonna finally go into my QL. So the QL is a short muscle in the lower back region here. It's like a little square, and that gets tight and sometimes just needs a little bit of releasing. You can see I'm literally just doing everything on my right side because my left side is fine. My right side is super tight. And even after all this, you'll see when I do get hit my poses, my left side is still the better side. Okay, that's the lower done. What you'll notice is I didn't do anything to my hamstrings. I don't know why. I just didn't. I had an explanation in my head, but I've never actually confirmed that is correct. I'll tell you guys. So my theory is that my hamstrings are not tight. They don't need to be released. If anything, they're lengthened because my quads are tighter and they're like opposing muscles. But like I say, I don't know. So now I'm gonna get into my bedazzled heels. So a note on heels, there are different types. There are different heel lengths and there are different platform lengths. So the ones I have are called Glory. They are a 3/4 inch platform. So typically you'll find 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch or 1 inch. I used to have 1 inch. I didn't like how I leant forward in it. I feel like with a slightly smaller platform and the long heel, so the heel is 5 inches. Again, with the heels, you typically, with wellness heels, you have like 4 or 5 inches, maybe 4.5, but these are 5 inch. And it's a wide fit because your girl has wide feet, which funnily enough, when I'm like 1 week out, my shoes are really loose because I lose fat from my feet. But anyways, don't look at them, they're shy. So at the moment, these fit me fine. What I will probably do for my next show is as I get lean, I'll probably size down and get a new pair of shoes just for show day. Otherwise, I'm slipping around in these. Also, there's like these little pads that you can buy that you can put in like the front part of the shoe. If you're someone who has sweaty feet or you slip around a lot, those pads are really, really good. They're like transparent and they hold your feet in place. I don't have an ankle strap. You can see these are just slip-ons. I used to have an ankle strap. Honestly, I might go back to an ankle strap. I, at the moment, like the look of the slip-ons. I feel like they just look more aesthetic. But I'm gonna play around in my next season, get a bit more creative with shoes, with posing, maybe add in little twists and turns here and there, and that might end up me needing some more secure shoes. But for now, we'll just go with these. It's the Nike socks with the heels for me. This is peak fashion. Shout out Nike, sponsor me. So I got my posing heels on. I'm just gonna go through the mandatories first. So we have the front pose for wellness. Now you're gonna lean into that back leg. You're gonna bring your weight on your front toe. You're gonna have your waist twisted away, but your torso twisted to the front. You're gonna have left hand, well, you can have either side, but for me, I've got my right foot forward and my left hand on my waist. And then the right hand just relaxed, making sure we're not hiding that glute. And really leaning into that back quad. Your chest is gonna be up, your traps are gonna be depressed. You don't wanna be shrugged up, traps depressed. And you can see there's a nice taper here. If you see this from the back, you'll see how much I actually have to arch my lower back. It's a very uncomfortable pose. We'll show you the back later when we do the rotations. And then we're going to go from the front pose into the side pose. So as I mentioned earlier, I have a weaker side pose. This is that side pose. Unfortunately, on stage, you have to show both poses because there are 4 turns. So this is the first mandatory quarter turn. What we can see is my upper body is a bit tense still. So I'm trying my best to just relax it. My hand on my waist here is close to my belly button. My left hand is again not hiding the glute, but also not all the way out here. just relaxed. My glutes are facing laterally, they're not being hidden. And my torso, I'm trying to twist it. Again, I'm a bit limited here with my thoracic, but I'm trying to twist it so that it's facing the judges. My leg is not fully locked out, but it's also not bent. One of the worst things, and it's honestly a pet peeve of mine, is when you see girls posing like this. This just looks so bad. Like, it's just ugly, and there's no aesthetic to holding a pose like this. Like, you look like, I don't know, like you're trying to take a dump or something. It just looks wrong. Like, why are you doing that? Just don't do that. Holding that side pose. Your back foot, your weight is on your toe. You're flexing the calf. And you're not pointing that leg out back there. You're also not having it in like that. It's just foot straight forward, following the direction of your other knee. And then you quarter turn to your right again. So we're going to hit the back pose. So we just transition into that. Ooh, that wasn't in the way. That would have looked more graceful. So back pose, it's relatively easy. What you can see here is my quad sweep because my knees are being pushed out laterally. My weight is on my heels, but at the same time, I'm flexing my calves. So you lean into your heels, but you also tiptoe at the same time to make sure you're showing off those beautiful calves. Your upper back is extended as much as possible with your lower back, your lumbar spine also hyperextended. Again, you should not feel comfortable. If you're quite relaxed, you'll be standing up straight. If you're too bent over, you just look weird. So you want to be arched. Your arms are just relaxed with a slight retraction in your shoulder blades to show off those rear delts. Your hands are placed on the front of your thighs. You can, in some cases, if you have quite small quads, you can push your quads out with your hands. I don't feel the need to do that. I think my balance looks quite good naturally. And when you're lean, you will be seeing teardrops of the glutes. This is where the glutes tie in to the hamstrings. Probably can't see that right now. Well, actually, maybe you can. Your foot width should be wide enough that you're giving yourself a nice sweep here. If we go too narrow, you can see you start to look very up and down. You go too wide, just looks weird. So just wider than hip width. Again, with your feet, you don't want them pointed all the way out. Looks weird. You don't want them in, because then your knees will cave in, you lose that quad sweep. Again, looks weird. You want them just slightly, say less than 45 degrees tilted outwards, and you're leaning back. The knees, you can either have them fully locked out, or you can have them slightly soft. Not bent, just soft. Again, if you bend them, it looks weird. So just slightly soft. And that allows you to not stretch your hamstring so much that you're losing that glute tie-in. And then we transition into that final side pose. So this is my much more comfortable side pose. You can see my upper back is not as tense as it was before. So I find this side pose a lot more natural. I feel like my torso rotates very easily. My glutes stick out very easily. I'm able to hold it for a longer period of time. My chest stays up, my traps stay down. With the side pose, one thing you will often see is that people just tend to stand quite straight up and hit it. And that's where you look very symmetrical. Now, wellness is an asymmetrical category where you need to be thicker and lower and denser and more compressed on the bottom. So you really want to exaggerate that push hit. You want to arch your back as much as you can. You want to lean into that glute as much as you can. You want your upper to look smaller than your lower. So you see the difference from here to just here? Massive difference. I now look symmetrical. Whereas here, my lower looks so much bigger and fuller and denser, more feminine, more aesthetic. And that's wellness. Wellness is having not just size in the lower, but a nice flow. You want nice symmetry between your quads and your glutes. If you're a quad dominant girl, you may find that when you hit your side pose, you will have to lean back more to push out the glute. You may have to angle your glutes more to the judges to fill them out more. If you're a glute dominant girl and you find that your legs look too slim, that's where we have to push more into the hamstrings and have a softer knee. Again, not bending like this, but just have a softer knee. Posing really depends on your physique. And that's where I think a lot of posing, maybe coaches or posing videos you see online, somebody is teaching you or they're showing you what suits their physique. And when you then try and emulate that, it looks bad because it just doesn't suit you. You might have broader shoulders. And therefore, when you're hitting the side pose, for example, if you're coming straight on like that, your shoulders are going to look too broad. So you'll actually probably be better off having more of a rotation of your upper. There's little things like that that it all adds up. And you can spend, 16, 20, 24 weeks in a prep. But if you haven't nailed that posing, once you get on stage, the judges are not going to see how hard you trained, how hard you dieted. They're going to see your physique, what it looks like on the day, and how well you posed on the day. Let's go through the walk now, and I'm going to take you through different angles so you can see what the poses look like from the back, from the side, and then I'll go through a possible routine, which is again something that's your choice of how you do it. With the routine, it's typically 15 to 30 seconds if you're an amateur, or 1 minute to 90 seconds if you're a pro. And that's a freestyle routine where you go through poses of your choice. And if you have poses that you want to show off, you can choose those. If you have poses that you want to hide, you can hide them, or you can just put them into a transition. If you have ways that you like to walk, or you want to do a spin, you can add those in. It's your manifestation of what you want to show as an athlete. What are you? Are you sassy? Do you do your hair flicks? Are you more cutesy and you kind of just want to show that off? Or are you just very classy and you don't want to go over the top and you just want to show things as they are? So your personality has to show in your posing, okay? So let's go head over to the green catwalk, my red carpet. Before the walk, just make sure you're feeling very loose. Shake off your shoulders, twist your hips, make sure they're feeling very loose, everything's moving, because when you're walking, you're basically walking from your hips, okay? We don't want you to walk stiff, okay? You're walking, you're swinging your hip with each walk, swinging. We're swinging the upper as well. It's feeling very much like over the top GTA stripper type of walk, okay?
Yeah. One thing you gon' learn about me, ain't nobody putting word like me. Can't drip, can't sauce like me. Whipping it up, I'm a major key. I am the one, not the two or the three. Get on my level if you wanna be better than ever, I got what I need. Pushing the limit, that's how it's gon' be. I promise I won't take it easy. It's only right that I come with that greasy. It's only right that I give him that pressure. Just watch, you don't have to believe me. I'ma do my thing. Watch me do my thing. I'ma do my thing. I did not come to play. I ain't got no limit, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm limitless. I ain't got no limit, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm limitless. They can't stop me now, yeah, that's right. Cause I'm limitless. It's my turn right now. Watch me work, yeah, I'm limitless. I ain't got no limit, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm limitless. I ain't got no limit, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm limitless. They can't stop me now, yeah, that's right. Cause I'm limitless. It's my turn right now. Watch me work, yeah, I'm limitless. I know what I want and you know I'ma get it. I'm not even close to the finish, just scratching the surface. Turning my L's into winnings. I've been the one since the beginning. No days.
So I hope you guys found that useful. That was my routine of stretching before posing. I hope the explanations of why I do the posing the way I do made sense. If you have any questions, please, drop a comment in the comment box below, or you can DM me on my Instagram. So that's @thecentaur. That's also where you can inquire for any posing coaching. I do both virtual if you prefer online, or I do in-person posing as well. So just contact me if that's something you're interested in. I am technically a pro, but I'm not the most professional poser. I'm not the most experienced. I look at things from an objective point of view. So if I'm looking at your physique and I'm trying to teach you posing, I'm not doing it based on what I've done for myself. I'm doing it based on what I think will work for your physique. If you're going to another posing coach, just make sure that that's kind of the view they're giving you. And if you don't feel comfortable with the posing, please, you know, say to the coach or kind of hint at what you would prefer, because not one style fits everyone, and you just see it so much where someone has prepped for so long and then their posing is just awful. It just doesn't suit them. So that's kind of my 2 cents on it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, like, comment, and I will see you guys in Texas.
I ain't got no limit, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm limitless.